Good morning. My name is Lori Whittemore. Today I'm serving as the service leader. Usually I'm over there, so if I seem a little bit confused, just go with it. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. We also want to welcome those joining us on YouTube and encourage you to have a candle or a chalice to light while we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad that you're here with us today. The theme for the month of October is courage. We invite you to carry that theme with you as you are with us here today and into your daily life when you leave here today. We strive to be a green sanctuary. It gives roots and wings to our vision of a world where all people build toward a sustainable future and make reverence, gratitude, and care for the living earth central to their lives. We want to acknowledge that our building sits on the land of the Wabanaki Confederation, which includes the Abenaki, Maliseet, Micmac, Passamaquoddy, and Penobscot nations. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it in the back for recycling at the exit of the sanctuary. Our current COVID guidelines should be on the back page. There will be social hour today in the parish hall after service, and people make really good cookies here, so I hope you join us there. So first, I also want to say that I'm new to this role, and I forgot to let you know that Reverend Jake Fahey is joining us today. I've known Jake for years. He's a remarkable young man who's going to talk about reconnecting to the mother culture, and I invite you to take a look at your bulletin. He's truly remarkable, and we're delighted that he's here with us today. We come together today seeking a reality beyond our narrow selves that binds us in compassion, love, and understanding to other human beings and to the interdependent web of all living things. May our hearts and minds be open to the power and insight of what weaves us together and that scatters the threads of our experience and helps us to remember the wholeness of which we are a part. And now is the time where I invite you to turn and greet your neighbors this morning. How about you join me and let's read our covenant together. This is our sacred promise, to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve the human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. Please join me in the words for lighting of the chalice. Glory be to the earth and wind. Glory be to the sun and rain. Glory be to animals and children and living men. Glory be to our flame, which calls us together as one. Today's the time in the service where we join together and light candles for things that we're concerned about, things that we want to hold up. These are from our heart, so no political statements or announcements, please. If this is your first time in the service, when we invite people to share what is in their hearts, whether it is a great joy or a deep sorrow, it is not a time for announcements or political statements. If you wish to come forward, light a candle, tell us your name if you'd like to, and share your joy or sorrow with us. If you've already lit a candle, please come up and share if you feel called to do so. Please hold the mic straight in front of you, parallel to the floor, and speak clearly in the mic so people who are wearing hearing devices can hear clearly. Sorry, that's on me.
I'm Randa, candle of joy for A, the weather, B for, and C for my two new grandnieces, my sister's first grandnieces, and my brother's first grandchildren, both born within 2 months of each other. My sister gets to see them today in Florida, and I don't.
Good morning. I'm Anne, as most of you know, and last week I lit a candle for two of our senior members who are in assisted living. Carol Carlisle was one of those people, and she had emergency surgery on Monday for abdominal difficulties and is recovering sort of slowly at Southern Maine Med. She is very limited in her visitors, and she's not able to answer the phone. If you've been at Southern Maine Med, you may know why. Those phones are atrocious. Anyway, I dropped off a card for her yesterday, but things have been very, very slow. And I dropped off a note for her saying we were lighting candles and sending healing and supportive thoughts her way. Thank you.
My name is Patrick. I just want to share my joy of music with you. Also, I have a concern because I am scheduled to have an angioplasty done sometimes between now and Thanksgiving, but here I am still up and going, so I guess the music keeps me going. So I hopefully you enjoy, and hopefully that I can keep doing this. Thank you very much for being here. Bye.
And I lit 2 candles this morning for my family. You've all known that my family's gone through surgery, and they continue to be better so well that now I have to tell them to just slow down and stop doing things. So they're doing really, really well, and that's a big joy for me. Oh, and I'm going to light one last candle for joys and sorrows that are left unspoken. Let us take a moment to hold what we've heard in our hearts here. So we've started reading A Story for All Ages again, hoping that some youth are joining us online. And you know what? Some of the greatest, truest messages come through children's literature anyway, so we're happy to reinstate this. And I got this as recommended by the UUA's Soul Matters, and it's called Everything is Connected. Everything is connected, and since we are a part of everything, you are connected to everything. You are connected to a human body, to hands and eyeballs and teeth and toes and elbows, a butt and even a nose. To a heart and some lungs and a strange-looking stomach and a brain that's so smart, there's no peak it can't summit. But you're not just a body, you're bigger than that. You're connected to people, to everybody. To moms and to dads, to sisters and brothers, uncles and cousins, grandfathers and grandmothers. You are connected to friends and to teachers at school and even to people you don't think are cool. You're connected to people in Denver and Maine, in Paris and Baghdad, and to strangers in Spain. Got a nice shout out there, I love it. You're connected to every human on earth. Wow. And they are connected to you. So you are also connected to hedgehogs, and cats and dogs and squirrels and birds, rabbits and cows, and deer by the herds, monkeys and tarantulas, dolphins and snakes. Friend, you're connected to every big, small, hairy, slimy, snuggly, scaly, floppy, flappy, bristly, buzzy, beautiful creature on earth, even blobfish. Blobfish, you say? Surely not that. They don't look like me, talk like me, or even act like me. And they're probably stink. But you see, we're all connected. We all play a part. In life, we're the same. We're all blobfish at heart. And I know you guys, so I know some of you a lot. Now, this next part, through bonkers, is true. I'm afraid you're connected to everything humans have made. To toys and to playgrounds, books and to chairs, gardens and medicine, language and prayers. Buildings and bicycles, buses, balloons, hammers and paintbrushes, tractors and spoons. But the good news, my dear, is that you are all quite powerful, a force that's in everything, timeless and wowerful. You're even connected to things you can't see, the invisible world for at least you and me, to cells, DNA, diseases and death, amoebas and gravity, atoms and breath. To hydrogen, nitrogen, nanobots too. You're connected to them and they're connected to you. You're connected to happy, connected to sad, to the past, to the future, to thoughts you have had, to pharaohs, Ben Franklin, T-Rex, ancient Greece, to love and to poverty, hunger and peace, to Jesus and Buddha, Mohammed and Moses, to spaceships and aliens with noses like hoses. You're connected to all that will be or has been. You're the very moment where all things begin. For you are the sun and the moon and the stars. You are Venus and Jupiter, Neptune and Mars, comets and galaxies, voids and black holes. You are the universe, perfect and whole. And that's it. I think I could drop the mic and we could end the service here. But we will go on. Now please join me as you're able and sing hymn number 91, Mother of All. Please be seated. My reading this morning is a poem by Gina Minks Toddings. She touched her scars, reminding herself how beautiful they are, gracing her body like the stars across an endless sky, aligning perfectly in time, eternally sacred lines. Following the map they provide, the stories of her children, our greatest blessings brought to life.
Good morning. My name is Jake Fahey, and happy to be here. Thanks for welcoming me here. Sure. Yeah, let me know if I need to go louder anytime. Yeah. Louder, I'll go closer. There we go. Great. I came to the shores of Moosluk-Maguntic Lake in Aquasic, unceded land of the Penobscot people, stewards of this sacred land since time immemorial. I've been in a bad mood all morning. Exhausted after a long week of work, up a bit too early, and taking on the mundane tasks of preparing for our annual camping trip. My girlfriend and I have welcomed in winter over the past few years by camping on the shores of Moosluk-Maguntic, on property that a friend of mine has settled on. Packing my clothes, food, camping gear, firewood, chairs, etc. becomes the morning meditation. By the time we're packed and ready to take the 2.5-hour drive from South Portland up to Rangeley area, I'm feeling burnt. I get into it with myself. Really, Jake? You're gonna be in an all bummed out mood just when you finally are getting some relief from work, from the grind? Finally, some fun, relaxation, quiet with your favorite person in the world? You're just going to be a foggy-brained grump all the way up? Yep. Turns into a dismal drive as I lean into the frustration and spiral into further dreariness. Amidst the pain and teariness of this very simple moment, my training reminds me that it will pass, just like all other feelings. Although I do have a responsibility around how quickly it will move. That lake, that land, and the spirits of that lake and land wake me up. I continue to follow my training. Deep breaths. Center. Quiet the mind. Introduce myself to the land as I am a guest, an unknown visitor, until I offer an out loud acknowledgement of who I am. An offering. The best bits of our lunch make a spirit plate offered with thanks and gratitude to a rocky nook by the lake. Nap time pulls my attention, although my decolonizing practices continue to resist. Let me continue to pray with the land and shed these negative attitudes. I ask permission from the spirits of the land and lake to be here, to pray here. I feel for a response. I light some incense and allow the smoke to dance around my body and delight my nostrils. Cleanse the space. Remove all negative thoughts and negative energies from me in this space. Show me a deeper truth. I walk out to a rock slab jutting from the lakeside. I spend time standing and praying in each direction, remembering my training as the words spill from my lips. A loving dialogue with the very real beings as I circle clockwise, feeling their energy and sourcefulness. I take in the sunbeams, strong and squinty to the eyes. I look up at the sky, remembering the star beings, hidden yet omnipresent all around me. I touch the stone beneath my feet, full of life and ancient wisdom, stone years beyond what I can fathom. And then myself. I remember my place, my part in this vast web of beautiful life, my longing to be a hollow bone for spirit, to be used by the magnificent universe for her greater good. I stand in silence, breathing deeply. I can feel myself again. I'm here. I'm okay. The exhaustion and the memories of the morning washing away. I hear a whisper. I know what I need to do. Zings of excitement jolt through my body. I grab my towel from the car and slowly strip off all my clothes, and I slow walk into the lake. The November water hits like ice. The tingles of pain and release scurry up my legs as I enter deeper and deeper. The cold is frightening and alluring, inviting and foreboding. Deep breaths. Just before I plunge under, as if time stands still, I remember my training. Treated like ceremony. I face the sun, put my palms together at my forehead, and ask all negativity to leave me, all that no longer serves me to wash away. Under I go. Once. Twice. 3 times. I pray with the water, thanking her with deep gratitude for her cleansing and love. I hold her in my hands as she holds me. For a moment, we're one. As the brain freeze descends, and before the hypothermic warmth takes hold, I head to shore. I feel as if I'm a new man, and in some respects, I am. I've learned something from my experience in returning to these old ways of relationship and reconnection to Mother Earth and the vast sentient universe. My very cellular is changing. Every 7 years, we are in an entirely new physical vessel, the scientists say. Sometimes it feels as though every 7 minutes, an entirely new emotional one. These are technologies. How we relate to each other and the world around us makes all the difference. Respect, reciprocity, gratitude, beauty, celebration, life, grief, deep feeling, transformation. We can attempt right relationship again, even within an often unbalanced, unjust cultural context. Yes, it is true that the indigenous people of this earth are the ones that have most dearly held the sacred teachings of how to live in right relationship with all creation. Against all odds, amidst formidable power, greed, and violence, the sacred ways of the mother culture have survived all around us. As the old ways remain alive, so do cultures of injustice, oppression, secularization, materialism, and power hoarding, including here in the United States of America. As one of the most developed countries in the world, yet the richest 10% of our population holds nearly 70% of the total wealth. We have lower life expectancy than most other similarly developed nations. Amongst them, we spend the most on healthcare and yet rank supremely low in its quality care and access. And we have the highest incarceration rate in the entire world. And these are just a few of the staggering statistics that show up in our country. Most of us know something's seriously wrong here. Some may be confused by how this could be until we remember the origins of this country. Native American genocide, and the enslavement of Africans and indigenous peoples. As much as we wish we could put these facts in the past, they represent the backbone of this nation, and the land and her sacred keepers will not forget. Thus, the poison that continues to haunt our nation, one that could be beautiful, successful, and equitable, remains deathly sick from denial. So how do we live in integrity at this time? Especially those of us who hold the material advantages of being a white or European descended person. We must remember what we have forgotten, what we've been coerced to forget, that we too, like all people on this earth, descend from a culture that was once in alignment with the natural world. Each one of us may take a different path towards that remembrance, though in time, I believe we must all walk down it to continue the slow healing of our souls, and thus the healing of all. There has been many dark deeds performed again and again on our people of this world, particularly our black and brown siblings. Deeds to hoard power, greed, and divide the people against themselves. Racism, sexism, ableism, trans and homophobia, classism, ageism, and more have taken seed in our unconscious, deliberately and successfully, to destroy any attempts to unify. We have been taught to see ourselves better than others, and that we deserve it, especially us white folks, and even more so, us white men. This is not our fault, but it is our responsibility. We hold much power, and we must wield it wisely. But how? The best answer, I believe, lies deep within the earth and within our hearts. We must awaken again to the hidden wisdom of the universe through carefully guarded practices that lie within cultures throughout the world. practices and ways of being that lead us back to ourselves and our purpose, our original instructions. We must take time to sit in silence by the water. We must remember to ask permission whenever we go somewhere new. We must give gifts and gratitudes to the unseen beings around us. We must pray deeply and longingly for a better world, and for us to be vessels of that world's birthing. We must greet the sun at sunrise and sunset. We must honor the new and full moon. We must train our minds, honor our ancient ancestors, and love our brethren. We must plead for guidance towards this way again. These ways we collectively have forgotten, and they are needed so deeply now. The current systems we live in are seemingly broken, and yet they are actually working just as they are designed to support a wealthy, advantaged few for the general demise of the rest of us. As mentioned previously, various forms of oppression divide us from creating something that really supports us all. And my learnings over the years have clarified the fact that racism is the glue to the whole scheme. As historian C. Van Woodward notes, the mission of white supremacy is to hold black people and white people down alike, not to mention everyone else in between. As we've seen from the statistics above, our nation is failing. These are the reasons that efforts of UUs across the nation to implement an eighth principle to confront racism and oppression are taking hold. Are we all being held down against our will? Amidst 400 years of affirmative action benefiting people classified as white, our country continues to struggle collectively to live up to its potential. If you personally struggle to see some of the problems of this nation, don't fret. We've been taught not to see. Try asking someone you know who doesn't look like you, in race or gender or ability or class or some combination. Let's ask our neighbors. Are you generally happy with the healthcare system? Do you believe this country is here to support you? What needs of yours aren't getting met? Make sure to really listen, and you may learn some important things. And if we don't know someone that looks like us, well, there's always a great place to start. There is a way out of this mess, and the indigenous spiritual elders have been leading the way with the answers for quite some time. Right relationship with the earth brings right relationship with each other. We must take up our own leadership towards such. As Lama Rod Owen says, find our own front lines, and the answers will come from them. Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandmother Universe. If only we could stop and listen and remember. There are protocols here. Can we listen? Can we learn them? Let's practice. This is a beautiful life we can be living, but we do need to change. It is required of us. As Audre Lorde says, we need a radical reorientation to our consciousness. Yes, it is scary and seemingly unfathomable. Choosing to venture into this unknown realm can feel like shooting at an invisible target. But we must have hope, as hope is the ability to sense a deeper reality than what is visible. But once you make the choice to choose this path towards life and right relationship, Spirit is waiting. All of life is waiting for us. Take one step towards life, and Spirit takes 100 towards you. We can be the change we want to see in the world. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So take a step. Take a deep breath after a cranky morning. Greet the sun. Introduce yourself. Take a step into the lake. What will you choose today? What act will bring you closer to right relationship with the earth and all of creation? How will you find your place in the movement towards birthing a new world from an old, ancient knowing? We need you. The world is waiting.
Thank you so much, Jake. When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts and our spirits, our time and our energy, our talents and skills to support the work of this church here within our walls and into the larger community. We also bring our gift of generosity, giving of what we have so that the work of this church may continue. As always, half of our plate offering today will be sent out in the larger community that is making a difference in our world. This month, we are sharing our plate offering with, it's not the Natural Resource Council of Aid, Southern Maine Conservation Collaborative. If you are watching from home, donations may be made through the Give button at the top of the webpage, uuchurchsacobiddeford.com, or checks may be mailed to UUCSB 60 School Street, Saco, Maine 04072. Or for those joining us on YouTube, you may click the PayPal link in the video description. Please be generous as the ushers collect this morning's offering. Please join me in the extinguishing of the chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, give us the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths, today, tomorrow, and always. And please remain standing and join me in hymn number 110, Come Children of Tomorrow. Fitting words today, it's a closing by Margaret Block. If you don't vote, don't cry. We told you before to vote or die. When things get really bad and you have to walk because you can't buy gas and your walk is no longer all spiffy and spry, well, walk on, brother, because if you don't vote, you don't cry. When you go to the store and prices have gone through the ceiling and hit the sky, and you're walking around cussing and complaining and tell everybody that these prices are too damn high and you don't know what you're gonna buy, well, if you don't vote, don't cry. If you find yourself between a rock and a hard place and you can't pay your mortgage or you have to downsize to a small space, and you feel disgusted and disgraced and can't keep a tear from your eye, well, if you don't vote, don't cry. If you get laid off from your job and things for you are already hard, and you know that they sent your job to another land, and all you can do is throw up your hands and ask God why, well, if you don't vote, don't cry. If you get really ill and you can't go to the doctor because you can't pay the bill, not to mention buying those expensive pills, and if you feel like you're going to die, well, if you don't vote, don't cry. If you go off to school and you comply with all the rules and you can't get a grant or a student loan and you have to pack your bags and go home and you're all angry and upset and you tell your mama that the world is just passing you by, well, if you don't vote, don't cry. If you lose your food stamps in Section 8 and you call your worker to get it straight and she tells you that some politician cut your benefits and didn't say why, and you let out a heavy sigh, if you don't vote, don't cry. We already told you, vote or die. So now go out into the world and vote, please.
Good morning.